Hello and welcome back to Gay Sports, the podcast for the athlete in us all. I am your host, Declan Zhang, and the Olympics have started, you guys. I am so excited to talk a little bit more about that and watch all of the sports that we've got going on. I had my very good friend Alex Fabugais-Inaba on the pod to talk about the Winter Olympics and which sports are gay and which sports are straight, and as well as get into some of the profiles of some of the queer athletes who are competing this year. Super excited. I'm super excited for you guys to hear everything that we talked about. But first up, I would love to just address the fact that the snow in New York has enabled me to see all of the dog piss that dog owners just. I guess where else is your dog supposed to piss? I would rather they piss outside than inside, but it's really exposing just how much piss there is everywhere on the streets. Um, as any of my friends know, I am an avowed um, dog hater. I'll say it. I hate dog culture is what it is. I'm a friend to good dogs. I'm a friend to plenty of individual dogs. My Connor and my brother Connor and my sister-in-law Alex have a dog Diego who is the most special, precious, anxious little guy in the whole world. Normally, I'm not a big fan of anxious dogs. He is my nephew, and he's perfect, though, obviously. And I have friends with dogs that I enjoy. Shout out Marty. But there are lots of problems with the way we have allowed dogs to just like dictate some of our public spaces, let's say. And I every time I see a dog peeing on the snow and just leaving this big yellow stain, I am disgusted. Yeah, I wanted to bring that to you guys and just like see what you guys thought about that, I guess. Yeah, it's about to be Fashion Week. I'm one of those people who works in fashion, and every time Fashion Week rolls around, which, contrary to popular belief, it is actually 2 times a year. It is not all the time. It seems like it's all the time. It is February and September here in New York City. And I'm about to be very, very busy next week working on a runway show. But as I was just saying to another friend, I like to work hard. I am not someone who is able to have an easy day job. Inertia is a big thing for me. And I think I've learned throughout adulthood that if I have a really easy day job, I get a lot more complacent in the rest of my life. And I need to be challenged at work. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for next week to be on site for this show, and I'm working production. I'm a production coordinator, and I'm excited to work really hard for a week and then be done and move on to the next thing, freelance life. But yeah, I hope you guys are getting through the beginning of your February. I hope you guys have fun plans for Valentine's Day. I will be working on this runway show. And I hope you guys are as excited for the Olympics as I am. And I hope you guys are as excited for Survivor 50 as I am. A lot of those cast interviews have been dropping, and I've been listening to every single one and eating it up. I'm going to have a couple of friends on throughout the season to talk about what's going on with Survivor 50. I'm going to have my absolute sister, one of my best friends in the world, Trevor Lown, on to do a little cast preview of Survivor 50. If you are um, if you're a diehard Survivor fan, obviously I hope you'll tune in. But if you are somebody who is curious and hasn't maybe gone in and out of watching over the last couple of years since the pandemic, but you've been thinking about tapping in for Survivor 50, I will have some very, very good coverage for you to give you all the deets on our cast of Survivor legends, mostly legends, who will be playing Survivor 50, so stay tuned for that. Right now, I want to jump right into talking Traitors. We had an amazing episode of the Traitors the other night. Rob R. continuing to prove himself. There's my baby over here. There he is. Rob R. continuing to prove himself and a very adept gamer. We had this fun mission where they had to act out these paintings and find the right one. Kristen got a shield. Yeah, I'm as a game runner myself. I'm always really interested in how to find like performance challenges for people to do. And I've dabbled a little bit with it in my games Forever Bushwick. But I think it's like really untapped territory for these kinds of things, and I thought this was a really fun way to make them be a little creative. Um, but obviously, this is not the meat of the episode. The meat of the episode came in the turrets at the beginning when we had the fallout of the Lisa vote, and after the mission when our players were let loose and we had a very interesting discussion between Candace and Rob, where it became very clear that there was no more working together. Rob basically tricks Candace into making the wrong decision for her, which is to murder Colton. I was so gagged when Colton was revealed to be the one murdered. Um, at first, I was like, oh my God, Rob, you had someone who was in your corner. Like, why would you let go someone who trusted you? And then, seeing him explain his reasoning was really inspired, honestly. Um, you know, Candace was set up here. And I'm seeing a lot of discourse around like I guess like Housewives fans like sort of refusing to believe that she absolutely bungled this. Not the murdering Colton. I mean, if I was in her shoes and I did not know that Colton had said me, I probably would also want to snip out my fellow traitors faithful number one, since I knew this traitor was not going to be working with me long term. So I'm sure she felt like, wow, I can't believe I managed to get rid of one of Rob's homies here. But yeah, anybody, I want to speak very clearly about Candace here. Candace did this to herself. Candace voting for Rob at the Lisa vote, complete unforced error, made no sense, absolutely implicated her, and was the beginning of her downfall. And she just did not handle the fallout of that well at all. Um, at that Lisa vote, like, okay, if Candace's story is that she's not trying to vote for Housewives, she did trust Lisa, she thought Lisa was being framed. Okay, fine. Then, keep your vote for Natalie. That would have still made sense rather than doing this throwaway vote for Rob. And yes, I do think it's, well, okay. I don't necessarily think it's bad sportsmanship. I think part of playing a good traitor game is having to manage your fellow traitors, and having to, if you need to get them out, and having to get them out in covert ways that aren't so easily linked back to you, so that maybe there's more surprise at the round table, and even if you have to vote for them, it maybe feels more like you didn't actually have a choice. I think managing the emotions and managing the vengefulness of your fellow traitors is part of being a traitor. So I think that's something that I think Rob should have seen, that if he came directly for Candace, that she was going to make it a big problem for him. It seems that he maybe has gotten away with it, though, because that Colton murder is just so cold-blooded that why would they think that Rob would be in the turret and allow that to happen? Who knows? I think it's very interesting that Rob recruited Eric. We were sort of set up to see, like, okay, they're suspicious of Steven. They are newly suspicious of Johnny. And so I think we all expected him to recruit one of those two. He certainly has to recruit a man because they have banished 3 female traitors now. So they're going to be suspecting that the remaining traitor is probably a man. So he has to recruit a male traitor in order to throw them under the bus and make himself look cleaner. But it was a really interesting choice to recruit Eric. And, brief spoilers for the last season of Traitors UK about to follow here. But we just saw on Traitors UK that 2 traitors go to the end and win together. And, I'm just it's very hard, I think, to win as a solo traitor, because unless you have totally misted people, if there's any suspicion on you, a good faithful game is to go into the end game And really, the most responsible thing to do as a faithful is to just keep banishing until you're down to you and the person you actually trust is not a traitor. Because why would you end the game at 4? Even if it's likely that all 4 of you are faithfuls, why would you take the risk and end the game at 4? If there's anybody you are a little bit sus of. If you're fully not sus of anybody, fine, whatever. But yeah, it's really, it's hard to win as a solo trader. Because if you have any suspect on you, everyone else is incentivized to just get rid of you just in case. But if there's 2 traders who are actually loyal to each other and can actually operate as a voting block, you gain much more control over those last few votes, especially obviously the final fire. And that's what we saw in Traitors UK, where we had 2 traders enter the final fire together, and thus they were able to just run that vote as a voting block of 2, and really pull the wool over the eyes of those poor remaining faithfuls at Traitors UK. But yeah, I think it really sets you up for success in those final votes. And I think it's a really big-brained move for Rob to take. We haven't seen much of Rob and Eric's relationship. We haven't gotten the sense that they're super tight. But maybe they are, and maybe Rob feels like Eric is really somebody who he can go into the end game with and win alongside, as his last confessional about it seemed to suggest. But if he's recruited Eric in the hope that he will be able to banish Eric as the male traitor, I don't think that's going to work out, because it does seem that Eric is pretty well liked and pretty well trusted amongst the remaining faithfuls. But we shall see. I am really excited. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Yeah, Traitors, mwah, 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 delicious. Love me some Traitors. We had a Drag Race episode last night. We had the final, the second half of the talent show. There was some great stuff happened. Drag Race is actually giving a lot of time to the strategy of the Rate a Queen mechanic. And I just feel like we haven't had a queen in there really articulate like what the correct play is, because it's different if you're in the top or in the bottom. If you're in the top, the best thing to do is to rank whoever you think is also in the top as low as possible to make better your chances of that someone who's a very strong lip syncer will not be in the top with you. And that maybe someone who's more middling will then, by virtue of the averages, rise a little bit higher, and somebody you can maybe be in a lip sync, right? If you're Sierra Mist and you know that you're about to lip sync and you're trying to game it so that somebody you think you can beat is in the bottom with you, I liked that we were seeing that from Sierra Mist and that she was thinking about that. And, people on Drag Race Twitter are complaining about how much airtime was given to the strategy. I, of course, love it. But I feel like we're not seeing queens really grapple with the averages of it, because if I'm in there and I'm trying to run a vote, there are always going to be some people who are just not going to get on board with voting strategically, and that is totally okay. But you have to account for that, right? You have to look at the people who are going to vote based on the actual performance in the challenge, and also most people are going to vote based on performance in the challenge. Like what always happens is that these like sort of amorphous alliances are sort of floated, and then the challenge happens and some people do really bad and everyone's like, okay, well, I actually can't really put you that high if you did that bad. But we did have a very shocking turn of events in that Mikey Meeks ends up in the bottom placement, which was, I can't believe the show actually kind of wasted a lot of time, on the back and forth with Sierra in the Discord. Why didn't we see enough of the queens talking about, why they're deciding to rank Mikey Meeks last, when she was very clearly, if not the most entertaining talent of that episode, the second or third, certainly nowhere near the bottom. I feel like the show doesn't know what it has and it doesn't know what it's doing. Classic Drag Race producers not understanding, the value of what they have. It would have been so much more interesting narratively to see the queens being like, yeah, Mikey did good, but like I'm I don't have any arrangement with her, and or I guess I'm gonna put her low. Um, you know, I want to see the Athena crew putting Athena high. I thought Athena did good. I did not think she was as good as Mikey, certainly. But then Athena did destroy that lip sync. I have to give credit where credit is due. She brought the party. But yeah, I mean, the talent show is fun. I liked seeing Kenya really get spooked there. And I wish we had seen more clarity in the edit of like people being like, "Damn, Kenya, you really shit the bed on that." But I'm gonna, I'm gonna rank you higher because of our arrangement. I just think that the Drag Race editors and storytellers do not actually know what they're talking about, or do not know what they're getting when the queens are trying to talk strategically, and so they don't know how to edit a coherent story about the strategy or the lack thereof about it. Um, we get the same sort of tired trope of like, oh, this person's daring to, wants to vote strategically, finger quotes, when the person saying this doesn't actually know what they're talking about. And it seems also something I really can't stand. This is both goes for Drag Race and for Traitors. I really can't stand when someone's like, they were trying to rally votes. You're trying to convince me how to vote. Yeah, of course I am. What are you talking about? And I don't understand why someone in that position isn't like, yes, I am trying to rally these votes because I want a certain outcome to happen. Why is that a bad thing? It really baffles me, and I don't know. I understand why it happens in Drag Race, because like Drag Race is not supposed to be that kind of show. So of course the idea of someone like trying to play hard is offensive to some people. Again, I was a little disappointed in like Jane don't seem to be like very over the whole system of things, and I'm kind of like, Jane, just like Jane, get in here and vouch for yourself and play like. And Jane did not eat that lip sync against Athena, unfortunately. Although I thought Jane and Mikey had the best talents of the night. Anyway, I really can't stand it in the Traitors when they're like, well, they were trying to whip vote. They were trying to convince me like, oh, you're trying to push a vote on me right now. Like, yes, I'm playing, aren't you? That's the game that we're playing. There's nothing immoral about trying to persuade people to make the move that I think is correct. It doesn't make any sense to me. It does not make any sense, and this would not happen on Survivor. I'll just tell you that. On Survivor, people know that's what we're here to do. We're here to vote each other out. We're here to convince people of our agendas. We're here to persuade. We're here to trick. We're here to push a certain narrative, push a certain agenda. And we can take issue with the way people do those things, but I don't understand taking issue with the fact that they're doing them at all. That's what I have to say about Drag Race this week. I'm very glad we did not lose Mikey, although I was sad to lose Sierra. I was not, super thrilled or impacted by any of the runways this week, so I'm not going to do a runway rundown, toots, boots, and hoops situation. But yeah, Jane had a great talent show. Didn't bring it in the lip sync. Athena's talent was fine, I thought, but she definitely was buoyed by the support of her sisters on the other side. I think Juicy is winning this season, you guys. I think Juicy, she has all the talents of the young dancing diva, tricks, flips, splits, and squats and sits and what have you. But she's so grounded in her confessional. She's so sweet. She did very well. She won a comedy challenge, which is for her archetype usually the Achilles heel. So she has wonderful runway looks. Mostly, she's obviously an incredible dancer, and she was busting out some tricks that I had never seen before last week, which is hard to do at this point in Drag Race. And she can do a comedy challenge. So, I think we're really being set up here to see certainly a deep run for Juicy. I mean, who's gonna beat her in lip sync? But I think she has a real shot at taking the crown. And, we haven't had a young upstart win the crown for, let me see. Right? We have, well, I guess Anya Nerve is like a young queen, but different. Anya Nerve is a comedy queen, and she won as a charismatic performer with just an undeniable star quality and comedy chops. Who maybe is not the most amazing lip syncer, doesn't have the most amazing looks. Juicy to me is more of the like Aquaria archetype of like the young, really beautiful, but like usually not as good at performing. But obviously, Juicy has that in spades. So I feel like Drag Race doesn't like to have similar archetypes win back to back. And I think we're in a moment where it really could be Juicy. That's what I have to say about Drag Race and the Traitors. We're gonna take a short little break here, and when we're back, we will be talking with Alex Fabugais-Inaba about Survivor Games and the Winter Olympics. I am so excited for you guys to hear. Hey guys, it's Declan, just popping in to say here that this is where an ad or sponsor break would go if we had any of those, but we don't, at least not for now. If you'd like to purchase ad space or sponsor an upcoming episode of Gay Sports, give us a call or DM or email at Gay Sports Pod on Instagram, and we will be so happy to talk to you. I assure you our rates are highly competitive, but they won't stay that way, at least not if I have it my way. For now, I'd like to just promote something that I really like for free because I think it's awesome, and that would be Hal's jalapeno potato chips. They are really, really delicious, and don't waste your time with any inferior chips. Thanks so much. Enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome back to Gay Sports, the podcast and internet talk show about anything that I personally deem a gay sport. I'm your host, Declan Zhang, and my guest today is a former national-level competitive swimmer of 14 years from Oakville, Ontario, Canada. They competed in the 2016 Canadian Olympic Trials, and they were a D1 swimmer at Rutgers University. They also beat Penny Oleksiak in the 200-meter free back in 2015 at Age Group Nationals, which was the year before Penny became Canada's most decorated Olympian. Currently, they live in Brooklyn, New York, and work as a content strategist and producer at Plural, a creative agency that specializes in social media strategy and content production based in the Lower East Side. They are also the current reigning winner of my game that I host, Survivor Bushwick. Please welcome to the pod, Alex Fabugais-Inaba.
Thanks for having me, Declan.
Thanks for being here, Alex.
So excited to chat about gay sports.
I'm so happy to have you, clearly an authority on gay sports. I don't think I knew before you messaged me about the pod and about Olympics. I don't think I knew that you were like a stone's throw away from being on the Canadian Olympic team. Is that crazy for me to say?
Very far stone's throw away.
I mean, you were at the Olympic trials.
I did compete in the Canadian Olympic trials back in 2016, but I think it was also at a time where Canadian swimming still really wasn't on the map yet. It truly happened in 2016. Like Rio was like the awakening for Canadian swimming on the international stage, and so a lot of the people that I grew up competing and swimming against are like either competed at Rio and did extremely well and are still swimming to this day, which is crazy because now we're in 2026. So they've been swimming for a decade internationally.
And these are people who you personally know, like
yes.
like you went to the same like swim meets as and stuff like that.
Yes, I would race them. I've known them since I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. Some of them have stayed with Canada. Others will be training in the U.S. or even in like the Philippines as well. And
sick.
Yeah, a lot of them are still swimming to this day, which is crazy to me.
That is so cool. I did not know this side of your athleticism and competitiveness, but of course we do know each other from a different kind of competition, which is that, as I said in introducing you, you are the current reigning winner of Survivor Bushwick, the Survivor game that I run, and we are also both alumni of Gay Survivor NYC.
Yeah.
Alex, can you talk a little bit about like what got you into the world of these Survivor games, aka LRGs? Although I'm long on record as saying that I hate the term LRG and think we all need collectively to find something else. But that is what they're called. I do cede that, and I do love them very, very much. What got you into this world?
It all started back in COVID. In 2020,
As so many things do.
Yes, I did my first online live reality game called Expedition Online.
Mm-hmm.
It was season 1. It was co-hosted by Boston Rob and Tyson, who are both former winners of Survivor. And we had to submit audition videos. They picked us out of the cast. It was crazy. It was over like 2 or 3 weeks. I had to be online between like 4 to 10 p.m. almost every single day. I think we had like Sundays off, and then I ended up placing 5th or 6th.
Okay.
So I did really well, but then I really didn't do an LRG until Survivor Bushwick and Gay Survivor.
Yeah.
Which happened like the summer of last year.
Yeah, yeah. I've only done so for the folks who are uninitiated. There are all these Survivor games around the country, and they're starting to be around the world now. There's a couple more international ones where people put on seasons of Survivor, usually in a day, but sometimes over the course of multiple days. And sometimes you're like in an Airbnb somewhere or in a park. Sometimes you are truly in the woods in the middle of nowhere, which is my bread and butter. I've played a bunch of Survivor games around the country that are like 4 or 5 days in the woods. Sometimes you don't have much food. Sometimes you don't even have a tent. And it is a really crazy and special experience and a really specific type of putting yourself out there that's required. Yeah, and then so those are the live games, and then there's also online games, which I'm not really tapped into that world. I've only done one org, as they're called in the biz. And I just can't imagine the ones that are like every day for a month. Not because I couldn't do it. It's the problem is that I would do it. Is that I would give my deep profound hunger to win would override. Of course, it was COVID, so you had time for it.
We had nothing else to do.
Of course,
and
it's surprising to me that I didn't get trapped into an org at some point during quarantine when I had the time to. Somehow that missed me, which is probably for the better. But yeah, we are both alumni of Gay Survivor NYC, which is a wonderful one-day Survivor game here in New York City. Can't say enough good things about Jay, who is the host and lead producer of Gay Survivor. We played on different seasons. And then shortly after you played Gay Survivor, you played Survivor Bushwick.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you learned from the first game that you were able to bring to Bushwick and pull out the W your second time around?
Oh, so when I played Gay Survivor, it was my very first in-person game, and I just played quite aggressively from the very beginning. So the second that we merged, I kind of went guns a-blazing, said, you got to get Mark out or he's going to win. And I guess people used that as ammo to get me out. So I was out shortly after we merged. And then Mark ended up winning my season.
Of course.
So what I realized is I kind of have to shut my mouth a little bit and just build my alliances more quietly. So that's truly what I did with Survivor Bushwick, and I was like shocked at the end of the day that I won. I like did not think that was going to happen, but I was just like really proud of myself at the end of the day. And Declan hosts an amazing game, so
thank you, Alex.
You should apply for Survivor Bushwick if you're listening to this.
Survivor Bushwick applications for season 5, which I can't believe I'm saying, will be opening in probably about a month or so. Everyone keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, I mean, you had a very exciting end game to season 4 of Survivor Bushwick. We had someone get idled out by 1 vote at Final 6. We had a shocking almost flip sort at Final 5.
Yeah.
We had a 2-1-1 at Final 4, which any deep Survivor fans will know is a crazy thing that can happen. And to explain what a 2-1-1 means is sort of too complicated to get into for the length of this podcast, but trust, once Survivor 50 is airing and I've got my Survivor coverage going on, I'll get into all of that. But it's so funny, just like the world of friendships and relationships that I've made because of these silly Survivor games. So many people are like deeply important parts of my life now because I either played a game with them in the woods in the middle of nowhere somewhere, or because they they played my game, and like someone like you, and now just there's all these people who are part of my life, and also to like facilitate like other people's like making friends through this like crazy experience is so meaningful to me. And anyway, all as to say, I'm so glad you played Survivor Bushwick, and good game, and I'm so happy to have you on the pod.
Oh my God, thanks for having me. That was so beautiful.
Oh, of course.
Oh my goodness.
I love talking about Survivor. I love talking about Survivor games, and I love talking about Survivor Bushwick, my little baby passion project.
Yes.
That has really grown into a whole thing that is so much bigger than, the first season I did was just like a bunch of my friends and a few people who applied via Instagram, like in my friend's apartment building, and now it's like pretty huge production team with like people raising money for important causes in the world. And our last season of Survivor Bushwick raised over $10,000 for Safe Passage Project, which is an organization here in New York City that provides free lawyers for children and young people who are in the deportation process. And it's really beautiful to be able to do something I love, which is Survivor and psychotic mind games, for a good cause. So thank you for being part of that. And thank you to anyone listening who has ever been who is an alumni of Survivor Bushwick. I love you. You are in my heart forever. Alex, I could talk about LRGs for days and days and days.
Yes.
But I am extra particular excited to have you on the pod to talk about the Olympics, because the Winter Olympics started yesterday.
Yes.
And I am a big fan of the Olympics, although I am not the most informed, I will say. I feel like I'm often, usually when the Olympics comes around, I'm like, oh my God, the Olympics is my favorite thing. And then if someone asks me like, oh, what athletes are you looking out for? What are you like? I don't actually have an answer to that. But you probably are much more informed than me in that. I'm going to continue saying actually that you were almost an Olympic athlete, even if that's not really totally true. I'm just going to keep saying it. Here at Gay Sports, we're big fans of the Olympics, and not just the gay athletes. Like we always say, a gay sport is anything that any gay person does skillfully or anything that anyone does glamorously, and the Olympics are full of glamour. Like I said earlier, I love the Olympics, but I'm not always the most informed. If you've ever said to yourself or someone else, I love the Olympics as a concept, I mean, like, I love watching the Olympics and when the Olympics are on and stuff. I'm not super informed on all the sports. I don't know any of the athletes except for Chloe Kim. Yay, Chloe Kim. And I love watching figure skating and ice dancing. I don't totally know the difference, and that's okay. And curling. And one of them is called skeleton. I don't actually know which one skeleton is, though. Honestly, every time the Olympics come around, I wish I had the time to just watch every single thing and be one of those people who knows every name and every record, but I just can't. I'm so busy. I hate talking about how busy I am. It's so tacky. But honestly, I am. But if I could get one wish from a genie, if for some reason I could only wish for one wish and I couldn't ask for more wishes, I would wish for time. Just a few extra hours every day to sleep, to write, to do nothing. I don't know. To see more movies and read more books, right? I just don't have enough time. I just want more time. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, I love the Olympics. If that has ever been you, then we are the podcast for you. Welcome to our Olympics segment, Oh Honey, Oh-Lympics. Alex, I'm so happy to have you here to talk about this. There we go. I'm so happy to have you here. I think we should start by talking about the 16 events taking place at the Winter Olympics this year, from classics like figure skating and bobsleigh to a brand new Olympic sport hitting the boards this year, ski mountaineering. So I want us to play a little bit of a game here in Oh Honey, Olympics. We are going to go through the list of sports, and we are going to determine whether they are gay or straight.
Amazing.
So first up, we have alpine skiing.
Wait, what even is alpine skiing?
Alpine skiing is just skiing down that mountain, going bobbing and weaving and getting to the bottom. No jumping, none of that. It's just like, boom, let's ski.
Like Lindsey Vonn vibes.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, let's count down from 3, and we'll say whether alpine skiing is gay or straight. 3, 2, 1, straight.
Bi.
Okay.
I think it's bi.
Okay, why do you say it's bi?
You got 2 skis. You're going in and out. You're weaving. I think snowboarding is.
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay. Wait. skiing gives a bye vibe.
Okay, totally. Alpine skiing, I'm not seeing straight as pejorative for all of these. There are things about straight culture that I love, and alpine skiing I'm going to name as one of them. It doesn't feel like a particularly gay sport to me, although it is fun to watch. There's just like there's a real like, it's very precise, and it's very it's intense in short bursts. I don't know why it's giving straight to me, and again, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
That's fair.
Let's move on to biathlon. Do you know what this is? Because I had not known what it was before doing the research for this.
Is biathlon the one where you like cross country ski and then you
shoot a gun?
Yes.
So
I love biathlon.
For those of you who don't know this, I had seen biathlon listed as a Winter Olympic sport and just assumed that it meant like running and then cross country skiing or something like that, or like some combination of like a cardio distance sports. No, it is cross-country skiing and then shooting targets with a gun.
Yes.
Like you like ski a fuck long distance. Just that's the technical term, a fuck long distance. And then you pull up to a shooting range and you have to shoot 5 targets, or you get like a time penalty on your cross-country skiing. And sometimes it's like ski, shoot, ski again, shoot, ski again, shoot.
Yeah.
It is such a crazy and specific combination of skills. Let's say if we think it's gay or straight. 3, 2, 1, gay.
Bi.
Okay.
It's definitely this one is bi. 1 in the name. 2,
sure.
You also have to think about the fact that I feel like shooting is straight. But again, skiing, back to my point, is bi.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of get a little bit of like the gay and straight energy. And so I'm trying to meet it somewhere in the middle by saying that it is bi.
Totally. I'm seeing it's very like autistic gay high schooler with like a very unique combination of interests and skills, and like hyperfixation on like who invented biathlon as an Olympic sport?
I love
Who
it.
thought to combine shooting and cross-country skiing? I think it must have been a gay person.
I will say about biathlon too, the reason why it can be so tricky is because oftentimes you do the cross-country skiing, your heart rate is up, you're going a really long distance, and then you're supposed to really slow your heart rate down to shoot, because when these people shoot, they shoot in between their heartbeats.
Right.
So like they literally have to. Yes.
Wait, that's so cool.
Yes.
Ugh.
This is the same thing that they do for like Summer Olympic sports that involve shooting as well. Is you like try to slow your heart rate down so low that like, because the beat will like vibrate the rest of your body, and you have to make sure that you do it in between.
But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe there is an equivalent summer sport where it's like long endurance cardio activity and then get your ass on the ground and fire a very precise rifle, right? Or is there equivalent? Again, I'm showing, as I said in my little monologue, I don't actually know that much about the Olympics, but I love them.
I definitely think there is one.
Really?
But it's like you run and then you shoot or something. Or maybe I'm just making that up.
Okay.
We got a fact.
I'm making shit up too. Okay, next up we have bobsleigh. Okay, this one feels pretty clear to me. Let's just go for it.
I think so too.
3, 2, 1. Gay. Thank you. I mean, 4 guys in a tiny little bobsleigh, dick to ass to dick to ass.
Yep.
Come on.
The tiny suits that
tiny
they
little
wear?
suits.
Yes.
I'm sure some of those bobsleigh teams have explored each other's bodies. I don't know how you wouldn't.
I agree.
I don't know that much about bobsleigh. But it feels like a very gay sport to me.
You should definitely watch the Disney film Cool Runnings about Jamaica's first bobsled team.
Oh, yes, of course.
Very fun, very cheeky.
Shout out.
But bobsleigh is very gay.
Yeah, absolutely. Next we have cross country skiing. Okay. I think I'm okay. Let's just go for it. 3, 2, 1, straight.
I want to say straight.
Yeah. Straight. I guess for some reason, skiing is, well, there's other skiing activities, but alpine and cross country, literally it is going in a mostly straight line. Alpine, you're kind of zigzagging, but you're going from, point A to point B. There's not a ton of glamour on its face for cross country skiing. I certainly respect it. I certainly see it as a very noble activity. but glamorous it is not, I would say.
Yeah, I will also say if you compare it from alpine skiing to cross country skiing, alpine skiing is very fast and quick, and the gays moves fast. Cross country skiing,
that's true. We do walk fast.
They don't.
Alpine. We'll give alpine skiing a 2 on the Kinsey scale, maybe.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Do we even need to say it?
Oh.
Curling. 3, 2, 1. Gay. Hello.
So gay.
The tiny, moving the tiny little thing, freaking out over this little. I don't even know what the thing is called in curling.
I don't know.
I don't know what it's called. Again, showing my lack of knowledge. Curling is awesome. Curling is so fun to watch. Curling is like the name sounds gay. Curling, literally curl. It's not straight. It's curled. What a gift curling is to the internet. The memes that we get from curling over the years. Also, it must be so fun to be a literal Olympic curling champion. Like of all the skills, it's so cool. I can't say I curling A+. Whoever thought to make this an Olympic sport, I hope they lived the rest of their lives in abundance and peace and got ate out all the time.
I will say curling is very big in Canada, and I think
that makes sense.
Canada is very gay too.
Totally.
But I know a bunch of family friends who have all curled. I actually think New York needs more curling places.
Yeah, I would love to get into that.
Zoran, if you're listening to this, I would love a Brooklyn curling place to go to on the regular.
Hell yeah. Let's move on to figure skating. 3, 2, 1. Gay. With reservations.
But I think men's figure skating is gay. I think women's figure skating is straight.
Okay, well, I have a little bit of a segment to talk about some of the queer athletes who are competing this year, and I actually have an interesting fact to share, but I'll wait till we get there. We don't need to spend too much time on this. Figure skating, come on. It is the most artistic of probably all of the Olympic sports, period. Am I right?
Figure skating or maybe ice dance.
I'm looping ice dance in with figure skating here, even though they are separate events. In terms of what we're covering here at Oh Honey Oh-Lympics, we're looping them together. And I also did learn the difference between figure skating and ice dancing while preparing for this. Yeah, it's gay. It's gay.
Oh, it's so
It's so gay. Yes. The little outfits, the music, probably the highest density. Well, the highest density of gay guy Olympic athletes probably.
Yeah.
The highest density of lesbian Olympic athletes. We will get into that very soon.
I know it.
I'm sure you know. Next we have freestyle skiing, which is doing little tricks in the air.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Ooh. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Straight.
Gay. Oh. Well, for me, this is the gay skiing activity.
Oh, I feel like freestyle skiing feels straight to me just because I think of the people who are at X Games that do a lot of freestyle skiing and tricks. And I feel like that culture is very straight to me. So I would say freestyle skiing does feel straight in my eyes.
Okay.
But it is so cool. Freestyle skiing is so cool.
It's absolutely sickening. It's freestyle skiing. I just did a little Google here. Includes aerials. It also includes half pipe. And also mogul skiing is included in freestyle skiing. And there's something about that, the ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. I don't know. Fellas, is it gay to ride the bumps of... That got away from me and I'm not going to finish it. Let's move on to ice hockey. 3, 2, 1. Gay. This is, and we're finding out that most of these sports are gay, and isn't that just what we seek to accomplish here at Gay Sports? So there's obviously heated rivalry, which if we scratch the surface of this podcast will be 2 hours long.
100%.
I assume you've watched.
Yes, I've watched. Don't you worry.
I fucking loved it.
I cried.
I cried.
Oh,
let's talk a little bit about it and put it away.
Yes.
It is a really campy, silly, all softcore porn show for the first 2 episodes.
Yep.
And then it as we all know, it takes a bit of a turn. It has a very earnest third episode. I mean, the whole thing is very earnest. But like, you know, I'm watching and I'm like, this is so smoothie barista. He's picked this smoothie barista that he's gonna what? And the things that they're saying to each other, I'm like, ugh, like I'm watching it, I'm having fun, but I'm like, this is so silly. And then it continues on, and at some point it becomes a very masterfully crafted, serious sexual drama. And those last 2 episodes, I mean, I was hanging on every single word.
Oh yeah, I was a mess.
I was a mess.
The conversation between Shane, is it Shane?
Shane, yeah.
Shane and his mom.
Oh my God.
I literally had that conversation with my own
instant
mom.
Classic coming out to your parent scene in all media. For me, I mean, that scene of course got me. For me, it's when he comes out to Rose in the restaurant, or when she sort of like pulls him out of the closet.
Yes.
There is Hudson Williams makes some amazing choices over the course of the entire show. Brilliant performances. But it's this scene that really made me be like, okay, I'm following whatever this guy does next. She says like Rose is like, and also another beautiful performance by Shauna from Yellow Jackets. I don't know the actress's name. Sorry. She is like, do you like boys? Or she like sort of like says it and like sort of like dares him to really to be totally transparent about it. And he does this thing where he can't bring himself to say it, and he like looks to the side a little bit. His like lip is quivering. He's like tearing up, and he like just barely tiny nods his head. And something about what he did there, I was watching it. I gasped, and I was put right back in myself at like age 12, coming out to my best friend over AOL Instant Messenger.
Wow.
And like this scene is it's so beautiful because like she is so obviously so loving and supportive, and like I just can't say enough good things about it. Anyway,
shout out Canada.
And
Canadian
shout out
show.
Canada.
The Canadian government actually even like funded part of the project too. So
and
that,
good.
Again, Canada is gay.
No, shout out Canada. And you know, not to give the gay guys all of the airtime on this, because the most lesbian dense sport at the Winter Olympics is most certainly ice hockey.
It is women's hockey.
As I learned pulling up lists of the gay athletes at the Olympics, it is definitely ice hockey. Let's move on to luge. Luge is feet first.
Yes. Going down the same route that you go for bobsledding and for skeleton.
Right.
I believe.
And skeleton is head first, which plays into my determinations here. All right, let's go 3, 2, 1, straight.
It's all gay. It's all gay. Like all of that, the tight suits, the running, you're going down this like narrow pipe. It's all gay to me.
Luge. I think luge is coming in as straight for me.
Explain.
There's something playing it safe, I suppose, about going feet first. And there's it lacks the sexual tension of the 4-man bobsleigh. So I'm giving luge. I'm going to call luge straight again. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just what's speaking to me. Okay, we have Nordic combined, which I did not know what this was. But it is a combination of cross country skiing and ski jumping, or is it freestyle? Hold on, I'm going to fact check myself right now. Yeah, it's cross country skiing and ski jumping. So ski a fuck long distance and then do some jumps. Let's bang this out. 3, 2, 1, straight.
Maybe gay. Okay, I was also thinking maybe
I'm gonna say straight because this feels like a little bit like overcompensating to me, of like a I gotta prove something. Yeah. This feels like a straight guy who wasn't good enough at ski jumping and wasn't good enough at cross country skiing. Was like, let me make a sport where I can be that guy.
Or it could be like closeted gay, maybe.
Sure. Oh, whoa. And I forgot about this. Sorry, I'm just seeing this on Google now. Nordic combined is the only Winter Olympic sport to exclude women.
Oh.
Straight. Ew. Goodbye.
Ew,
we don't like you, Nordic combined.
At all.
Goodbye.
Wait,
let's move on. Short track speed skating. I learned that there is a separation between speed skating and short track speed skating.
Yes.
Okay, great. I wasn't super familiar with this.
Oh, yes.
But this, to me, let's call this 3, 2, 1, gay. Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
It's very intense. There is, and watching those videos of like the one-on-one races, were because there is one-on-one in short track speed skating.
Speed skating must be like one of my most favorite sports to watch for the Winter Olympics. It's so exciting. It's so fast paced. Sometimes they're like sliding around and colliding. It is so cool, and the technique with it. So also, what's really funny is that someone that I grew up swimming with was kind of like a dual athlete and also was a speed skater. So like we learned all about speed skating through that friend and learned all about the techniques of it, and it's fascinating. Really, really cool.
Yeah. Short track speed skating, I thought for some reason in my brain this could be like a one-on-one. No, it is multiple skaters, usually between 4 and 6, racing on an oval track. There's watching some videos of this. I just thought there was like sort of a beautiful, again, I'll say it, sexual tension between the movements of the skaters and the very precise way that they have to overtake each other and decide when to try and overtake each other. It's very beautiful. Let's moving on to, we've got a couple more left here. Skeleton. So this is luge, but your face first. We can probably guess based on my response to luge what I'm going to say here. 3, 2, 1, gay. Skeleton is head first. Head first. Sounds gay to me.
Very gay.
Moving on to ski jumping.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, straight, but in a good way.
Yeah,
I want to be very clear.
Very cool. It's like ally.
Ally. Like your coolest straight friends are doing ski jumping, and I love that for them. And I'm gonna watch, and I'm gonna be very supportive.
I think Eileen Gu is a ski jumper. Is she
sure.
Not? I think
that sounds right to me.
Eileen Gu used to represent Team USA, and then she switched to team like her heritage, China, and a lot of Americans were like so mad about that. And I'm like, girl wants to represent her home country, let her represent whoever she wants to represent. But Eileen Gu is an icon, legend, model, Stanford, Olympian, crazy.
Ski jumping, we love you. I can't wait to watch clips of this on Twitter. Next we have a brand new sport for the Winter Olympics, ski mountaineering, which is a combination of hiking uphill and then skiing down to a set like target, and like and then like also a bit of cross country skiing through the mountains to get to your next hill that you need to alpine ski down.
Oh my gosh!
So it's like endurance. It's you have to like be good at. I'm sure there's like set paths through the mountains, obviously, but there's a sort of like a roughing it aspect to it that I think they're trying to capture and adding this to these Winter Olympics. And I think also it's been added to the Milan-Cortina Olympics, and I don't think it's guaranteed to continue being in the Winter Olympics because it's very dependent on the state of the mountains around wherever the Winter Olympics are being held, which I think is very fascinating. Let's go for it. 3, 2, 1, straight. Sorry, this is a straight activity. That's okay. Again, I think this is cool as hell, and I like cool as hell. I'm so glad they have added this to the Olympics this year. I don't know if it'll be super interesting to watch, but I am eager to see how athletes place.
So interesting. Ski mountaineering makes me think of portaging, and if you know what portaging is?
Yes, that.
You literally like canoe down rivers, and then you carry the canoe on top of your head and hike through the forest. And this is very much ski mountaineering, is portaging.
Next up, we have snowboard.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, straight.
Yeah.
Sorry to all the lesbians who are competing in the snowboard events this year. Yeah. It's awesome. I will watch the videos of the half pipe and things like that. Have you ever snowboarded?
No, I'm a skier.
So I've skied. I've tried snowboarding. It is so difficult, so insanely difficult.
I know.
To move 2 feet on a snowboard. Mad respect to all of the straight guys and lesbians who snowboard. But I think this is a aesthetically straight activity, and that is okay. And finally, we have long track speed skating. 3, 2, 1.
Gay.
I'm kind of torn on this one. I think I'm maybe pulling hairs by distinguishing between short track and long track speed skating.
Fair.
My gut was saying straight, but you're right. It's gay. Skating is gay.
Skating is gay.
Tight outfits.
Skating is gay.
All skating is gay. On ice, on wheels. Skating is a very gay activity. 100%. That was I didn't really name it, but which sports are gay and which are straight. Thank you for doing that with me.
Loved it.
We're running out of time in the studio, but before we go, I want to just talk about some of the gay athletes who are competing at the Winter Olympics this year. It's a lot of lesbians, which is awesome.
Yeah.
One notable Team USA couple, we have. Let me pull this up. Oh, you do?
I think I do.
Okay, great. We have
Yes.
Brittany Howe and Hilary Knight, who met at the 2022 Beijing Olympics. Brittany Howe is a speed skater, and Hilary Knight is on Team USA's women's hockey team. Brittany Howe, I believe, has a one bronze medal from her last Olympics, and Hilary Knight, this is Hilary's 5th Olympics. She has gotten silver multiple times. Very much an Olympic power couple. And their love story began at the Olympic Village in Beijing, where they would go on little quarantine COVID walks together, and just got to know each other as friends doing that, and eventually fell in love. And now they live together in Salt Lake City. Oh. And I think the rumor is that this is probably both of their last Winter Olympics. Ooh. So I will certainly have my eye on Brittany Howe and Hilary Knight for speed skating and women's hockey, respectively.
I wonder if she'll win silver again. But usually it's because the Canada-U.S. rivalry.
Right.
The Canada-U.S.
heated rivalry
is one of the biggest ever.
Speaking of heated rivalries, we also have a real-life lesbian married couple who will be competing against each other at the Winter Olympics. We have Anna Kjelbin and Ronja Savalainen, who are an actual engaged couple. Anna is playing for Sweden and Savalainen is playing for Finland. They both play for Canadian teams when they're not in the Olympics. I believe Anna played for Toronto and Ronja for a different team in Canada, but I believe they both play for women's hockey teams in Canada, and they are playing against each other in the Olympics for their home countries. Savalainen has 2 bronze medals, and this is Anna Kjelbin's first Olympics. I hope we get to see Sweden and Finland play together, and they can have a moment on the ice, much like between Ilya and Shane in heated rivalry.
Like, give me a face-off.
Give me a face-off.
Give me sexual tension. Are
Absolutely.
they gonna kiss on the ice? We'll see.
Here's just some more photos of them being gay. Oops, that's what I want. Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen something about these outfits is so lesbian.
It's so
it's like
gay coded.
So gay. It's really, really incredible.
The beanies, the vests.
Yes. Now I'd like to move on to, we have Connor McDermott Mustawi, who is the only gay guy speed skater at the Olympics this year.
That's out. That we know of.
That only gay guy speed skater at the Olympics this year. This is his first Winter Olympics. He, in a minor upset, he won the men's 1,000 meter event at the Olympic trials, beating his teammates who I believe had been to the Olympics in the past. So Connor is coming in with a lot to prove and a lot of buzz behind him, which is very, very exciting. I've got 2 more athletes for us to talk about. We have Kevin Amos. There's no big story here. He's just a French gay guy doing figure skating, which is a likely place for French gay guys to be. He is really pretty, and that is why I wanted to include him here. I think he's really beautiful. Glamorous, and has a great outfit on in this photo, and I look forward to watching clips, or if not, the entire thing of his performance at the Olympics this year. Finally, I want us to talk about Amber Glenn, to bring some representation to the bisexuals here, because we have been talking mostly about lesbians and gay guys. She is the first openly queer woman to represent Team USA in Olympic figure skating, and she's coming off of winning 3 back-to-back national titles, which has not been done since Michelle Kwan in the aughts. So Amber Glenn has big shoes to fill. I believe Alyssa Liu has in this morning's the first event that happened this morning placed higher than her. But we are absolutely rooting for Amber Glenn. She has been very outspoken about opposing, the Trump administration's policies against trans people and LGBTQ people. And she's faced a lot of, according to her, harassment online and death threats for being outspokenly political in the run-up to the Olympics. Amber, we salute you. Keep it up. I can't wait to watch your performances on YouTube. Those are just a smattering of the gay athletes who will be competing in the Olympics this year. I am so excited to watch some of these sports, especially now that I know what some of them are. Biathlon, I will be tuning in to watch them do all that and then take shots in between their heartbeats. Come on. I love that. Alex, what are you most excited to watch this year?
Oof, biathlon is definitely one of my favorites. I also am just like a curling fan. I need to actually curl one day, but I love curling. I love the speed skating, short track and long track. I'm not the biggest hockey fan, even though I am Canadian.
Totally.
So, but I will be tuning into Sweden, Finland.
If we can get a Sweden Finland matchup, I will be tuned in. Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
Couldn't agree more. I of course am excited to watch figure skating. I think my doing some research into the sports this year has really made me much more interested in speed skating as well. And then, of course, the aforementioned ice hockey matchup, if we can get it, between Sweden and Finland is very exciting. I might check out ski mountaineering. I just can't imagine it'll be that interesting to watch unless they've done something cool with, like, how they're capturing the, like, long trek up the mountain. But I'll give it a watch for sure. And then, I love curling. I'll be watching curling.
100%.
I'll be watching curling.
I find it so funny too for figure skating that they literally have Johnny and Tara on the Traitors,
right?
Specifically to amp Olympic coverage.
Yeah, right.
It's incredible. I love it.
Johnny and Tara. Johnny is great. Tara, I don't know what Tara's doing. I don't know what Tara's doing.
Tara doesn't know what
Tara's doing. Tara has no idea. I mean, to her credit, she had a confessional last episode being like, I do not know what I'm doing here.
I love this season of Traitors.
Oh my god, I love it. If we open that can of worms, we won't be able to stop. Traitors is great. We love the Traitors.
Yes.
I can't wait to see how. I hope Rob wins. He deserves to win. He is an amazing traitor. And it's been very exciting to see players like him who are not coming from, game reality shows, really like find a gamer side of themselves. Alex, thank you so much for joining me on the pod today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for your insights into Canada and into the Olympics. I am so excited to see how the rest of these Olympics play out. I have been your host, Declan Zhang. You have been you, and this has been Gay Sports, a podcast for the athlete in us all. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Gay Sports is a podcast and internet talk show for the athlete in us all, created and hosted by Declan Zhang. Gay Sports is recorded at BRIC, Brooklyn.